I told my boyfriend he wasn't man enough. Now I'm dealing with a dude who asks me for gas money. I swear I never saw this mess coming. My name's Tanisha, 29, and I had my life on lock before everything went sideways. When I met DeAndre 2 years ago at my coworker's housewarming, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Fine as hell with those deep brown eyes. Smell good enough to make a girl dizzy, and conversation that kept me up till 3 a.m. He worked in marketing at a startup, and I was climbing the ladder at my financial consulting firm. We moved in together after 8 months, and for a while we were that couple everyone envied. But then his company went through restructuring. DeAndre kept saying the right things about finding something better, but weeks turned into months. I'd come home from closing big accounts to find him playing video games or networking with his boys. His unemployment checks barely covered his car payment, and I started picking up more of our bills. Meanwhile, my career was taking off. I got promoted to senior consultant with a sweet raise. My girlfriends started making jokes about me being the breadwinner, and though I laughed it off, it stung because it was true. DeAndre started shrinking around my success. He'd skip my work functions, saying he felt out of place. When my boss complimented my work, DeAndre changed the subject to basketball. It's like he couldn't handle my shine. The breaking point came after my company's annual gala. I wore this fire-red dress, and my team had just landed a massive client. Everyone was congratulating me while DeAndre spent the night by the bar, checking his phone. In the Uber home, I was still buzzing while he was dead silent. "What is your problem?" I finally asked when we got home. "Nothing. Just tired of watching everyone worship you while I'm just Tanisha's boyfriend with nothing going for himself." "Well, maybe if you were actually trying to find a real job. I've been applying everywhere. You think I enjoy feeling like less than a man around you?" That's when I said it. "Then be man enough to step up. I need a partner, not another bill to pay." The look on his face, like I'd slapped him. He grabbed his keys and left. Looking back, that was the night everything changed. DeAndre came back the next morning with this weird energy. His eyes were red like he hadn't slept, but there was something else's strange confidence I'd never seen before. He kissed me on the forehead and said he was going to handle his business. For the next few days, he was up before me, dressed sharp, saying he had interviews. I was relieved, thinking we'd weathered the storm. Then on Friday, as I was rushing out to work, he hit me with, "Yo, can I get $40 for gas? My account's running low until I lock down this position." I gave him the money without thinking twice. But then it happened again 3 days later. And again. Soon, it wasn't just gas money. It was lunch with a potential contact, a new shirt for an interview, his phone bill because he was making so many networking calls. The weird part? He started acting more masculine in other ways. Suddenly, he was calling all the shots about our plans, making decisions without asking me, acting possessive when we went out. When I'd try to talk about my day, he'd cut me off with, "That's nice, baby," before changing the subject to himself. My girls noticed it too. Shanice pulled me aside at brunch and asked if everything was okay. "DeAndre's giving off weird vibes," she whispered, like he's playing some role. I defended him, saying he was just focused on getting back on his feet. But privately, I was confused. He was taking my money with one hand while acting like the alpha male with the other. One night, I overheard him on the phone with his boy Marcus, laughing about some mindset coach on YouTube who was teaching him the game. Our relationship turned into this twisted game over the next month. I'd come home exhausted from actual work to find DeAndre telling me how he was grinding all day, though nothing concrete ever materialized. Meanwhile, the financial requests kept coming. "Let me hold $200 for this networking event. I need to upgrade my laptop." The dynamic at home got even more strained. If I questioned where the money was going, he'd turn it around. "You don't believe in me? I thought you wanted a man with ambition." He started criticizing little things: my cooking, my clothes, how I loaded the dishwasher. One night, we were supposed to meet my parents for dinner. DeAndre texted an hour before saying his investor meeting was running long. I showed up alone, again making excuses for him. My dad asked point blank if DeAndre was taking advantage of me. I denied it immediately. When I got home, DeAndre was on the couch playing video games. No meeting, no investors. When I confronted him, he had the nerve to say, "I'm strategizing. Not everyone understands the hustle." I exploded. "What hustle? Taking my money while contributing nothing." His response chilled me. "You wanted a man, right? This is what a real man does, lets his woman invest in his vision." Then he had the audacity to reach for my purse, saying he needed money for gas tomorrow. That's when I realized this wasn't just a rough patch. DeAndre was deliberately playing some twisted game. The next weekend, while DeAndre was at the gym, I went through his phone. What I found made my stomach drop. No job applications, no business plans. Instead, he'd been watching these relationship strategy videos about making women submit. There were screenshots of my bank app. Most damning of all, text conversations with his friends laughing about how he was training me. And the money I'd given him? He'd been spending it on expensive clothes, sports betting, and this one broke me taking some girl named Jasmine out for drinks. The same week I'd skipped lunch to save money for our future. When he came home, I was waiting with his phone unlocked, open to the messages with Jasmine. His face didn't even register shock, just annoyance at being caught. "It's not what you think," he started, but I cut him off. "It's exactly what I think. You've been playing me, taking my money, and cheating on me, while I've been killing myself feeling guilty for hurting your precious male ego." He had the nerve to smile. "You said I wasn't man enough, so I showed you what a real man do, takes what he wants, and makes the woman handle the bills." I was speechless. He'd twisted my words into this sick justification. All I could say was, "Get out." "This is my apartment too," he shot back. "My name's on the lease. I've paid the rent alone for 6 months. You have until tomorrow to pack your stuff." What followed was the ugliest fight of my life. DeAndre threw every insecurity I'd ever shared back in my face, said no man would ever want a woman who made him feel small. I fired back with every disappointing thing he'd ever done. When he finally left, I collapsed on the floor, shaking with rage and relief and heartbreak all at once. I blocked his number, his social media, everything. But the damage was already public. He'd posted a long rant about gold diggers who want men to pay for everything but call themselves independent, tagging mutual friends. The aftermath was messy. Some of my own girlfriends suggested I shared blame for putting him down. Even my mother asked if I'd contributed to the problem by making more money than him. 2 months after the breakup, I glimpsed DeAndre with a woman I recognized as his coworker. They were laughing, his arm around her waist. I watched as they checked out at the grocery store. He paid. With cash. The same man who'd been begging me for gas money. That night, I checked his Instagram. DeAndre had landed a job at a major marketing firm. There he was in a crisp suit, all smiles with his new team. His caption, "Growth comes after challenges." He'd completely rewritten our history, casting himself as the victim who rose from the ashes. 6 months post-breakup, I ran into DeAndre at an industry event. He looked good, confident in a way that seemed genuine, not like the act he'd put on during those last months together. "Tanisha," he said simply, "you look well." "You too," I managed. "Congratulations on the new job." "Finally," he said, "what happened between us was messed up. On both sides, I took things too far. What you did went beyond hurt feelings, DeAndre. You manipulated me, used me." He nodded. "I know. I got caught up in some toxic mindset. It took losing everything to realize how messed up my thinking was. For what it's worth, I'm sorry." Those 2 words, I'd wanted to hear them for so long, but now they felt insufficient. In the months that followed, I focused on rebuilding. My career continued to flourish. I'd even gone on a few dates, though nothing serious. Trust didn't come easily anymore. 1 year after our breakup, I wrote DeAndre a letter I never sent. Writing it helped me understand something crucial. Relationships don't break in a single moment. They fracture slowly, through small wounds inflicted by both parties. My words that night, "Be man enough," were just the final crack in something already damaged. His response, the manipulation, the financial exploitation, was his way of regaining power when he felt powerless. Neither of us had handled it well. I'm still learning to balance my ambition with patience, my high standards with compassion. I've learned to recognize the warning signs when someone feels threatened by my success. As for DeAndre, last I heard, he's engaged to someone new. I wish them well. And me? I'll never again ignore my instincts when something feels off, and I'll never again pay for a grown man's gas money no matter how good his reasons sound.